I love the name. So, is that after the song or?
Well, it was born from the song, and we had the Keen 5 evening thing come out in November, and then December is when the Geico commercial comes out, and so we were like, what's going on here? And I mean, everybody took the connections together, and it's funny to see actually on Facebook, we get tagged a lot in like somebody sharing the Geico commercial, and somebody will tag us in the comments and be like, well, there's already an ice cream shop with the name beforehand, and like they vouch for us. And
that's so funny.
We're called a lot of different things, Scoops or Scoop or anything else, but the Scoop, there it is. We wanted to keep it fun. It's ice cream, right?
Yeah.
It should be fun.
I kind of want to just hear the story of how this sweet little store was born.
My wife and I were having pizza down at Route 66, just the local pizza joint. And at the end of it, we were driving through town and thought we want to have some dessert. Then looking around, there just wasn't a lot of options for dessert. So we're driving by the park. The playground is on the right. And we look to the left, and there's a for rent sign. I'm thinking this can't be true. We just were talking, kind of joking about opening something, or this town needs something. And next thing you know, there's a for rent sign right across the street in a perfect location. And I'm jotting the number down, and she's laughing at me thinking, again, we're going to try, you're going to really go for this, aren't you? And so we decided, let's give it a shot. Can't hurt anything. So we make a phone call and talk to the landlords of the building. It's an old kitchen of an old bar that used to be there. It was empty for quite a while. And so they gave us a chance. They took a shot on us, and next thing you know, we're renovating the old kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you start that? How long ago?
We started that. We had that conversation in late February 2020, early March, and
right
perfect
before
timing.
the pandemic.
It was 2 weeks before I got sent home from school. They
Really?
called me and
Wow.
said, here's an idea. I'm like, sure, like not knowing what was going to happen. And then 2 weeks later, we got sent home. And I was like, okay, we're going all in now.
You are the youngest business person that we have interviewed.
Oh.
So I was impressed by your story, and I just thought maybe you'd take us back, walk us through your childhood a little bit. How did you get interested in running a business? You went to business school, Arizona.
Yeah.
And so just take us through that.
I mean,
It's a cool story.
growing up, I feel like I've always just had like a creative mind. Like that's always what I wanted to do. I did arts and crafts growing up and DIYs as I got older and just things like that. So I always have had like a creative mindset. I mean, I've always loved the idea of opening a business. I just think that all the time, like it scared me, the idea of failure. It was such a big like thing that I guess never allowed me to pursue it. But I think with my dad pushing it and then the pandemic happening, I mean, job stability at that point for me was like,
Right.
there's no like options I really have. So it was kind of like, let's just go all in on this. So honestly, if we didn't have that, I don't know if this would be a thing.
So opening a business from nothing has its own challenges, but then to do that during a pandemic and to be food-based, because I know, the food and the hospitality industry has really been hit. What are some of your biggest takeaways over the past year?
During the pandemic, there were so many what ifs. Like, what if nobody comes out, Because at the time it was stay at home. I mean, the whole what ifs of, is it going to be successful? Like, what are we doing? We were doing the math in our head, literally to the hour of how many people we had to have come out in order to make this successful.
I would say just the initial startup was difficult because everybody's working virtually. So you couldn't just walk into the health department, for example, and say, okay, this is what our space looks like. This is what we'd like to do. Because we're front facing to the sidewalk. We don't have seating. We don't have public restrooms. We don't have capacity issues that was important for everybody during the pandemic, because June was right in the heart of it, right? Everyone was kind of wondering what's going on. So it was difficult to have the clear communication with the health department. They're virtual. We're just, in ordering, trying to make it happen and really kind of learning on the fly.
Yeah.
So when it came to that, we had when we finally got them to come out and take a look at the space, then it made sense for them what translated on paper, but it wouldn't go through it like an email. You just couldn't figure out what we're trying to do. It was such a unique space where all we did is, open up a window directly to the sidewalk. So we're almost like an espresso stand.
Sure.
Except for on paper, that didn't really translate to what they were looking for. They wanted to keep capacity low, do all the right things, but in explaining it to them, that was our biggest challenge, was just for them to understand that we're not trying to open necessarily a full-service restaurant during the pandemic with capacity things going on. We're just trying to open our window and have people walk by the sidewalk and serve them ice cream.
When I got home and he showed me the space, because over the phone he's like, oh, it's about this size. Like, you can't visually picture that. We walked in that little space and I was like, you want to make this into an ice cream shop? Because at the time it was a full-on, there was a grill and the hood and just all of that was in there. And it had been vacant for a long time. So we're like, how do we make something out of this? It was just at that time, I really did think you were crazy.
It's such a small space. Yeah, it's only 10 foot by 12 foot. I mean, this studio here is bigger than our ice cream shop. So when you look at trying to visualize what it's going to be when you're done, it was a leap of faith for sure. You had to see past a lot of the work to get there. But, you start measuring it out and you start drawing out, okay, this can fit here and this can fit here, and, make the slider happen here, make it a little bigger. And next thing you know, you have, a real ice cream shop. But at the time, it was rough. It was rough to get renovated for sure.
Did you guys need to go to a bank then or are you just paying as you go? Or did you have to get debt capital?
Yeah, we decided if we're going to do this, we didn't want to take on any debt.
Okay.
That was an approach that we had going into it, that we knew we didn't want to take on any additional risk if at all possible. We wanted to be able to open this thing up. When we opened this thing up, we sourced equipment from Craigslist. We kept our risk very, very low just to get up and running. And from there, we knew that if it worked, we would expand and get, nicer equipment, waffle cone makers, etc., dipping cabinets, things we needed. But initially, it was, let's just see if it works. Let's just see if this thing is going to take off, which we believed it would, but you didn't know until you opened the doors.
Right.
And even right before we opened, it pushed out just a little bit to where now you're paying more rent, right, without being open because of the communication with the health department and not really being able to see our shop, right? So then we had to come up with some creative ideas to generate the revenue for rent, for example, just for the next month, right? Because we weren't open yet.
Yeah.
So we had a promotion. She had an idea of a promotion for gift cards. What was it? Gift card and
buy $10 worth of gift cards, get one free scoop for when we open. And
nice.
at the time, we were like, "Is people gonna come out?" It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was
People
so busy.
came out and helped, and we were very fortunate for that.
And that allowed us to pay the rent for the
Yes.
next month. So
Oh,
then
that
we
Perfect.
were able to open the following month.
Yes.
So it really was that bridge that was necessary. But we just got creative to try to
Yeah.
generate a little more revenue because, again, we didn't want to take on any debt. We didn't want to put anything on a credit card. We didn't want to take out a loan for anything. So we've been operating in the black since we started.
We love Amber's resilience and how she and her dad controlled their fixed and variable costs. They were able to not rely on raising debt capital to get their business off the ground. They both have put a lot of effort and creativity in keeping their overhead under control without sacrificing the quality of the ice cream.
Can you just speak a little bit about the marketing and where those ideas came from, how you got it going so that you got community interest and were ready to go on day one?
We put up a banner that said "Coming soon." Scoop, there it is, coming soon, with Instagram, Facebook. I think they're just those two.
Instagram and Facebook.
And the ways that you could connect with us. And next thing you know, every day it just kept going up and up.
Yeah.
So then we had a target audience where we could market directly to them.
Yeah.
We figured that was going to be, kind of a core audience for us, especially if they just drove by, saw it, and, joined or linked up with us.
The community is what supports us and what keeps us going. So for me, I want to be able to post and ask questions and cater to them.
Our community down there in Ording has been fantastic. Not only are we new to the town, we were up the hill in Graham, so we're aware of the community, but just being a new business in that small town, everybody rallied around. It felt
Yeah.
like throughout the summer we were so busy, and it was new faces every time. It wasn't we have our regulars,
Yeah.
and we love our regulars. At the beginning, we were kind of learning on the fly, so we didn't know how busy we'd be. We didn't realize that the community would support us so well, and then even going through the wintertime, the community's been so good to us. So we can't thank those guys enough for everything they've done, because it really is that community vibe that everybody feels like they're supporting. Any new business that would open up, I think would see the same thing. I think they would be supported because it's such a small knit, kind of tucked away little community that is self-sufficient, and it's great. Ording community is awesome.
Starting a business is tough. It can get very lonely, and you constantly second guess yourself. But Amber has an infectious, positive attitude and doesn't let the difficult moments get her down.
Do what you want to do. Do it the way that you would like to do, because then it keeps it fun. Instead of chasing the percentage of folks that are maybe the most vocal that want something, you focus in on what you want to do it the way that you want to do it, and then make that successful. Then you got something successful. Then you got something to hang your hat on, versus constantly chasing maybe the vocal minority of folks that are out there that are asking for certain things, and trying to cater to everybody, because you can't cater to everybody. You cater to the the 99%. Yeah. One thing though, there's a vocal group out there that we didn't think were as important as they really are, and that is the folks that like licorice ice cream.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Black licorice ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had no idea that it was that popular.
Yeah.
For folks that were clamoring for it from the very beginning, right? Right when we
Really?
put the banner up, are you going to have black licorice ice cream, right? And we looked around, and there's not a lot of folks that provide it. And then we brought it in, we found it, we sourced it, which was difficult to do, but we found it, we sourced it, we brought it in, and then we realized right away why people don't sell black licorice ice cream.
It dyes everything you touch. Like the
Oh.
scoop, if it's on your finger, now it's on your shirt, it's on your face.
Yeah.
Oh, the second you take a little taste of it, it's like your teeth are just black.
Yeah.
It's a very unique flavor, but people, that's their go-to.
How did you decide where to source your ice cream? Because, you were mentioning the black licorice, and you were looking around, where can we get it? And, how do you know who's good or who's going to be able to provide it all the time?
Well, we looked around at a lot of different places. We ended up kind of narrowing in on Cascade Glacier out of Eugene, Oregon, which is basically, right along the era or the geography of where we did a lot of family trips growing up. So we wanted to take that, and we knew the quality was good. We loved the ice cream, and our flavors, sometimes they're ordering them just because of the color, right? So, a lot of folks that are maybe making their own ice creams they don't use any artificial flavors or colors or things. But we'll have folks that walk up and say, I want the blue one, right?
Oh, the pink, the
yeah.
rainbow one.
That would be my daughter.
It's only based on the color, regardless of what the flavor is, right? So we settled in with Cascade Glacier because they had that variety. They have 50 flavors to choose from.
Wow.
We only have 12 dipping cabinet positions, so our flavors are constantly changing, which also helps for us. So then we have something new to offer all the time. So it's not the same dozen flavors every single time. So we can constantly rotate the stuff and see what works and what is popular. But by going with those guys, we reached out to them, and they've been terrific mentors for us.
And do they ship
Yeah.
it up like in a refrigerated semi, or do you go pick it up?
Well, a little of both. So we have a distributor that delivers it to us directly. Just a
Okay.
local distributor down out of Puyallup in the valley. And so they'll deliver to us twice a week, and in the 3-gallon tubs. And so we'll lean on those guys for the majority of the deliveries. But sometimes we have to run to the store and grab it ourselves.
Yeah.
Depends. Sometimes we're so busy we run out. That's happened a few times.
Wow.
So we can go through 100 tubs a week.
Yeah.
Oh my
We
gosh.
get busy. So
That's a lot of ice
we're a very small ice cream shop, but we go through a lot of product.
And what do you do with the cart?
Or the mobile cart.
Yeah.
So we use that for like little micro events. It's just a little push cart that holds 4 flavors, and then
Yeah.
just come and bring ice cream to wherever people need it. So it's a nice little addition.
So you were talking about where you go from here. So you're looking at adding another location now, or?
We'd like to. I mean, we'd like to do maybe a drive-through to make it more of an all-year kind of thing versus we're very seasonal right now.
Yeah.
We're always on the prowl for a new location,
Yeah.
so we're really kind of free agents as far as that goes. The location is so good in Orting, it's tough to replicate that. Right across from a park and right on the main road going through town, in a community that has an absolute, real community feel.